The internet is absolutely exploding right now over Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife Usha. And no, this isn't about politics. This is about something way more personal, something millions of people are watching unfold in real time. We're talking about body language, missing wedding rings, uncomfortable public appearances, and a viral theory that's got Reddit working overtime. So what exactly is going on between America's vice president and the second lady? Let's dive in. It all started in mid-November 2025. Usha Vance made a public appearance at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina alongside First Lady Melania Trump. Standard political event, right? Well, not quite, because eagle-eyed social media users noticed something unusual. Usha wasn't wearing her wedding ring. Now, before you think this is just another conspiracy theory, hold on, because this wasn't a one-time thing. Less than a week later, she appeared at another event, still ringless. And that's when the speculation went into overdrive. Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, everywhere you looked, people were asking the same question. Are JD and Usha Vance headed for divorce? The timing couldn't have been worse. Just weeks earlier, JD had made headlines for something else entirely. At a Turning Point USA event in late October, he was caught on camera sharing what many described as an uncomfortably intimate hug with Erica Kirk, the widow of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The moment went viral for all the wrong reasons. Body language experts immediately weighed in. Nicole Moore, a celebrity body language analyst, didn't hold back. She pointed out that JD's hands dropped to Erica's hips during the embrace, calling it informal and, quote, in many instances, not appropriate. But here's the kicker. Usha was in the audience watching the whole thing unfold. Moore said if she were Usha, she would have loved to be a fly on the wall during that car ride home. And honestly, same. Then there's the religious tension. At that same Turning Point event, JD publicly expressed his hope that Usha would convert from Hinduism to Catholicism. He said this on stage while she stood in the crowd with her arms crossed. Think about that for a second. Your husband, the Vice President of the United States, telling a room full of people that he wishes you'd change your religion. How would you feel? Social media erupted. Some called it Hindu-phobic. Others said he was throwing his wife under the bus. And you know what Usha did? She stood there, arms folded, silent. Fast forward 3 weeks, that's when she stopped wearing her wedding ring. But the Vance camp had an explanation ready. A spokesperson told People magazine that Usha is a busy mother of 3 young children. She does a lot of dishes, gives lots of baths, and sometimes forgets her ring. Fair enough, right? Except there's a problem with that story. As Second Lady of the United States, Usha lives at the Naval Observatory, a sprawling mansion with a full domestic staff. She travels constantly for official events. She's photographed almost daily. And before November 19, 2025, there's no documented instance of her appearing in public without her wedding ring. Not once. So either she suddenly developed a case of amnesia, or something else is going on. Body language experts have been analyzing every public appearance the Vances have made recently, and what they're finding is fascinating. At the Marine Corps Ball in early November, expert Nicole Moore described Usha as appearing very rigid and uncomfortable. Her smile seemed forced. Her jaw was tight. She kept scanning the room nervously. When Usha kissed JD on the cheek and touched his arm, Moore said the movements were short and perfunctory, as if she was performing affection instead of feeling it. Quote, Usha's body language indicated emotional disconnection from her husband. 2 days later, at Walter Reed Medical Center, the couple visited wounded veterans. In one moment, caught on camera, JD was tossing a medicine ball with a recovering service member. When he caught it, Usha's body language told a different story. She shifted away from him, stepped back, crossed her arms. Instead of moving toward her husband in celebration, she created physical distance. Moore noted this could indicate Usha was trying to protect herself emotionally by creating space between them. Then came the National Cathedral service in January 2025. This one's particularly telling. During Bishop Marion Edgar Bood's sermon about showing mercy to immigrants and LGBTQ families, JD turned to Usha twice, clearly trying to share his displeasure. Both times, she kept her gaze fixed straight ahead. She didn't acknowledge him, didn't turn, didn't budge. Body language expert Karen Donaldson said JD was trying to gain support and buy-in for his displeasure, but Usha was not reciprocating. She seemed completely uninterested in what he was feeling. One writer on social media observed that Usha is not comfortable with him leaning her way to try to talk, and honestly, the footage backs that up. But wait, there's more. In early December, a photo started circulating online. It allegedly showed JD and Usha at a restaurant, mid-argument. In the image, JD appears to be in the middle of an angry rant, eyebrows furrowed, while Usha sits across from him with her head down, fist pressed to her face. The photo went massively viral. People were convinced this was proof the marriage was in trouble. Divorce speculation hit fever pitch. That's when JD himself stepped in. He posted on X, sarcastically writing, "I always wear an undershirt when I go out in public to have a fight loudly with my wife." Many suspected the photo was AI generated. It had telltale signs of manipulation. But the fact that JD felt the need to respond at all, that tells you how serious the speculation had become. Then came his interview with NBC News on December 5th. When asked about the divorce rumors, JD said he and Usha actually get a kick out of it. He claimed their marriage is as strong as it's ever been. He explained the wedding ring incident by saying Usha had forgotten her rings after taking a shower before an event. According to JD, she told him, "If I don't go back and get them, there's going to be some ridiculous psycho who talks about it on social media." And his response? "Let them. It's not even worth the trip." When the interviewer asked if the speculation was tough on them, JD said, quote, "It's funny, I actually don't think that it's tough." But here's what's interesting. Usha wasn't present for that interview. She didn't offer any comment. And in the 11 years they've been married, no one can find footage of her forgetting her wedding ring in public before November 2025. So let's talk about what the internet is saying, because the theories range from reasonable to wild. Some people think Usha is genuinely unhappy, that she gave up a high-powered career as a litigator to become second lady, and she's struggling with the role. Others believe the missing ring was a deliberate message to JD after that hug with Erica Kirk. One columnist, Lisa Kennedy Montgomery, suggested it was a strategic move. Quote, "A little thing like a forgotten ring can go an awfully long way in reminding a clumsy husband how precious and irreplaceable his wife truly is." Then there are those who think this is all just normal marriage stuff blown out of proportion because they're in the public eye. After all, the Obamas deal with divorce rumors. So do Prince William and Kate Middleton. It comes with the territory. But body language doesn't lie, and what experts are seeing is a pattern of emotional distance, stiff interactions, and moments where Usha looks like she'd rather be anywhere else. At a FIFA Club World Cup match in June 2025, photographers captured Usha holding what appeared to be champagne, sitting with an entire empty seat between herself and JD while their 3 kids ran around the stands. Her face showed what one expert called palpable burnout. At the Vatican in April 2025, photos showed Usha walking several steps ahead of JD after an Easter service. Her neck was tight, her lips pursed. Body language expert Nicole Moore said her shoulders appeared pulled upward, as if she was bracing herself or putting on independent energy as a way to protect herself. Even at JD's Senate victory celebration back in 2022, before he was vice president, photos showed Usha standing behind him on stage looking completely zoned out and disconnected. Now, to be fair, not all body language experts agree. Judy James, another analyst, watched footage of the Marine Corps ball and had a completely different take. She described Usha's entrance as very elegant and presidential. She said Usha looked like FLOTUS material, suggesting she was confident and in control, not uncomfortable. James even noted how Usha stopped to put her arm around JD and kiss him on the cheek when he tried to direct her to walk ahead. She called it a moment of magic that Usha created herself.
So which interpretation is correct? That's the thing about body language. It's subjective. What one expert sees as discomfort, another sees as composure under pressure. What looks like emotional distance to some might just be a woman trying to maintain her dignity in an incredibly difficult role. But here's what we know for certain. The speculation isn't going away. In fact, it's only getting louder. Reddit threads are dissecting every photo. Twitter is tracking every public appearance. And millions of people are watching this marriage play out in real time. JD himself has admitted there are sacrifices that come with political life. He's acknowledged the constant cameras and scrutiny on their family. He said their 8-year-old son hates the limelight and doesn't love seeing cameras at White House events. Meanwhile, their 5-year-old apparently loves the attention a little too much. And through it all, Usha remains mostly silent. She gives scripted speeches at military events. She appears at galas and ceremonies. She plays the role of second lady. But what's she actually thinking? What's she actually feeling? We don't really know. In a revealing interview with Meghan McCain, Usha spoke about her life as second lady in a way that many found telling. When McCain asked about romantic details of their relationship, Usha described JD almost like he was an assigned roommate. When asked about JD's claim that he learned to cook Indian food from her mother, Usha confirmed it happened long ago, but added that he doesn't cook for her anymore. He's mostly transitioned to baking chocolate chip cookies and biscuits now. The interview was so awkward that even McCain, who was trying to conduct a friendly softball conversation, seemed uncomfortable. One writer described it as watching a 1-hour hostage video. Adding fuel to the fire, JD has a history of making questionable comments about his wife in public. In March 2025, he joked that when the cameras are on, anything he says, no matter how crazy, Usha has to smile, laugh, and celebrate it. At Trump's birthday event in June, he made similar comments about her having to go along with whatever he does.
These aren't the words of a man who's deeply in love and wants to protect his wife's image. These are the words of someone who sees his wife's public role as performative. And maybe that's what we're seeing, a performance. So here's the million-dollar question. Is this marriage actually in trouble? Or is the internet reading way too much into normal stress and awkward camera angles? Personally, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Political marriages are incredibly difficult. The pressure is immense. The scrutiny is relentless. And Usha gave up her entire career, her privacy, and her autonomy to support JD's political ambitions. Is she happy about it? Based on her body language, probably not all the time. Is she planning to divorce him? That seems unlikely given their 3 young children and the political stakes involved. But is there tension? Absolutely. You can see it in every stiff smile, every crossed arm, every moment of distance. What's clear is that millions of people are watching, analyzing, speculating. And until Usha speaks for herself, in her own words without a prepared statement or a spokesperson, the rumors will continue to swirl. Because at the end of the day, body language can reveal a lot, but it can't tell us everything. And that's what makes this story so compelling. We're watching a marriage under a microscope, and nobody really knows what's happening behind closed doors. So what do you think? Is Usha Vance unhappy in her marriage? Was the missing wedding ring a deliberate message? Or is this all just internet hysteria? Let me know in the comments below.